Hey guys. Woo. Hi from Bali, Seminyak. I'm getting ready here to leave and go to an event in just a minute. But while I was here in Bali, I did have some stuff. Just, when you really take that time to let yourself go deep, right? And let yourself really process all the stuff going on, and it's amazing what comes up, right? And so there was a big piece of this that came up for me that I felt to share with you guys today. Christine, hi, I wish you were here. I definitely just had an inner temper tantrum. Okay, love you. Okay, so this message is going to be short and sweet because it is what it is. And it's not always the funnest thing to think about. Hey, Shannon. But it is so necessary to think about. It's not always the greatest thing to think about, but really it is a big deal for us to recognize this. And really, it's the concept of like right now we're the generation that is, we're out there and we're really breaking through in this entrepreneur industry. And like there was times that being an entrepreneur was like the very uncool thing, right? Whereas now, being a musician used to be the uncool thing. Being an artist used to be the uncool thing. There's been like a change of what is the acceptable or not even just acceptable. It is true that the acceptable is part of it, but also it's changed what the iconic thing is to do or to be, right? So like right now it's like being a celebrity, being a movie star, being an entrepreneur, whereas really not that long ago at all, and it's still cool, but it's not the iconic thing anymore. It was like doctors and lawyers and whatever. So like we're in a season of, hey Amanda, we're in a season of like going through where it's like really epic and iconic for us to be entrepreneurs that have time freedom, that get to travel the world, that get to be frolic around in Bali with these other amazing women, just having fun and like still running a business, and really the business being based off of sharing our heart and being able to heal the world. It's a service-based thing to do. Like I get to serve people, help them, help heal them, help them make money, help them learn how to be happy, and I get paid epically to do that while I have massive amounts of freedom. So that is the time we're in. However, the time will pass, and not only will it become uncool eventually to do this, or it won't be the iconic thing anymore because everything changes, all seasons change, but we're also gonna get freaking old. Like you don't have forever. Like you really, really don't have forever. And not long from now, you're gonna become old and someone else is gonna be in the generation of doing whatever epic things or traveling or whatever the new iconic thing is, right? And this is what I was thinking about today. Right, I wrote it down so I could remember what to tell you guys, because I just kept thinking about this and like it just kept like, I don't even know, like it's so obvious and so doesn't need to be said, but completely needs to be said. And I was thinking about it, and it really like, it changed a lot of what I was doing in this moment, right? So basically understanding and remembering that your time is limited, so don't waste it being trapped by other people's thinking, which is what we do. Like I slipped into it myself, like the shoulds or the supposed to's, or like like this is what makes you a good parent, or this is what makes you popular in like, not popular as in like I'm the cool girl, but popular as in like you're doing a good job, or maybe popular is the wrong word, more like successful, probably like this is what deems you successful, these are the qualifications for you being successful. Or like maybe you reach a certain goal, you lose a certain amount of weight, or you look a certain way, or you reach a certain number financially, or you are able to create some kind of massive result, you do something new, you break some kind of record that you had for yourself. And instead of like us enjoying it and being present in that moment, be like, holy shit, this is so incredible, and like I'm loving this, and like it feels so good to reach these goals, and like look at myself expanding, and look at how this is contributing to healing the world, we like right by it, just fucking fly right by it on to the next thing, right? So it's really recognizing and understanding that we're going to fly by things, and as we're doing that kind of pace that way, all the stories and the beliefs and the stuff that we have, they're not getting worked out. It's like whatever you were taught to believe, someone else's beliefs are in there, and they're programmed in there, and you're not taking the time to upgrade them, and you're not taking the time to stop and look at them, because everybody's afraid to slow down and look at stuff. We're afraid to look at it and to be intentional and to change it. Like I remember when I changed my belief from like, I was like very much traditional Christian, and then I didn't believe in hell anymore. And not that I didn't believe in hell anymore, I never did believe in hell, but I sure shit wasn't about to admit that to myself, because then people would tell me I was gonna go to hell, and I was afraid I'd believe them, and then I was afraid I would actually go to hell, and I was gonna believe I was going to hell. So it was like this really weird, messy cycle. And like, we get to recognize that our time is limited, The season will change. You don't have forever. Opportunities do pass. And there's never been an opportunity like this before. And so our work is to really stop wasting our time being trapped by other people's thinking and living someone else's life. Like, the reason it feels like crap when you're doing, like I'm showing up day to day, this is how I'm showing up, this is what I'm doing, these are what my priorities are, et cetera, et cetera. The reason that it feels like crap sometimes is because it's not your freaking life. It's like you wandered onto some other planet that doesn't belong. It's like, I don't breathe oxygen here, right? Like, this is not oxygen, it's like carbon dioxide, and I'm suffocating. This is not my fucking world. I don't belong here. And we don't, like, we just, instead of being like, oh, I just need oxygen, I don't breathe carbon dioxide, we just start beating ourselves up like, how come I can't breathe carbon dioxide? Like, what is wrong with me? There's some internal fucked up thing about me because I can't breathe the carbon dioxide like the people here. Like, this is the crazy shit we do to ourselves, right? So our time is limiting. Stop wasting it being trapped by other people's thinking, living someone else's life, and trapped inside of the loop of fear and dogma. Like, there's some shit that you've been told that you don't actually believe. There's some expectations put on you that don't fucking mean anything to you. You don't care. You don't care about whatever that thing is that other people say that is the standard or that is the expectation in order for you to reach a level of success, or in order for you to matter, or in order for you to be valuable, or in order for you to be worthy, or in order for you to be validated, or in order for you to belong, or to be part of something, or to have reached a certain whatever, right? But you don't actually give a shit about that. So can we just tune in for a second on, like, I don't actually give a fuck about that. It's not a thing I actually care about. I'm telling myself I should reach that standard. I should reach that goal. I should do that thing. I should focus on this. I should stay in this loop over and over and over trying to reach that goal, but I never do. Why? Because you don't fucking care about that. You don't. You really don't. You just don't care. And if you don't care, then why has it become a priority for you? Why is it something on your radar? Why is it something that you're actually trying to do, right? Can we release that shit? So, being trapped in fear, being trapped in other people's dogma, the rules, the standards, the things that don't actually mean anything to you. And this is what I realized, like my Diamond Mastermind right now, there are 2 spots open. I have a couple people asking. Yes, we have 2 spots open. You get access to me one-on-one every week, so it's limited spots, obviously. But one of the most important things when we're doing high-level work is this. And it took me a while to be able to explain this to people. Like, how can you get epic results and have this, like, really design your dream life with ease, right? Because you do have to show up and work hard. It is fucking work. And like working through the kind of stuff, listen to me, trying to outwork whatever fear pattern you have that keeps you stuck in a cycle, and maybe you're binging, or you're over drinking, or you're watching Netflix, or you're on your iPhone scrolling every second, or you're ignoring your kids, or you're picking fights with your husband, or you're doing a bunch of busy work that doesn't actually mean anything, or you're incessantly changing the diet that you're focusing on because you're supposed to look a certain way, or whatever the thing is, right? So whatever the behavior is, we're engaging in that behavior. And the reason we're engaging in that behavior is because we're actually out of integrity with ourselves. So the way that you create epic, astonishing results and create your actual dream life, but enjoy the process doing it, is by actually trusting the process. Trusting that whatever time that I need to spend on this in order for me to heal or outgrow this, or to get clear what my world is, right? Like, I'm clear that Mars over here with fucking carbon dioxide, I have no idea what's on Mars. Just using an example. Don't be that annoying weird person who corrects me. That'd be super queer. Okay, so you're going to, instead of forcing yourself to do that, you're going to actually design your life. And the only way to design your life is for you to actually participate and give yourself time to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? But that is not what people do in our culture. They don't even almost do that in our culture. In our culture, what they do is they frantically do more and more and more stuff. Just like, I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna try this. And then they'll have some small breakthrough, which gives them that sense of like, see, I am doing this, I can do this is gonna work, I am safe, and they start all over again. But meanwhile, it's a completely shitty experience because it's overwhelming, and it's frantic, and it's stressful. And so it took me a while, right? And I'm not even close to perfect at this. I'm not even close. I definitely tip over the line more often than I would like, of like trusting my body and trusting like, okay, this is the goal I want, this is the pace I'm setting, and I'm enjoying the process. And then all of a sudden somehow an expectation or something creeps in and it just sort of gets in there and I didn't notice it. And then all of a sudden I have the expectation on myself and like putting my energy there, and then I tip over the line into like my body is screaming like, stop it. And there's definitely behaviors that we can watch ourselves do. And some people don't even actually know what it's like to not live in a state of overwhelm and survival. Like they actually don't even know what it feels like to be thriving. They have no clue. They've never they've never gotten a taste of it. So if you don't even know what it feels like, then what do you have to measure it up against? How do you know that you're way off track? How do you know that, like, oh, some shit slipped in because I don't even know. I'm just used to surviving every second. I'm used to freaking out and being overwhelmed and feeling chaotic, or I'm just used to not ever going for my dreams. I'm just staying in this place of complacency and I'm not really going for my dreams. And I don't give a shit if you're a brand new coach, or, you know, you're a brand new entrepreneur, or you're not even in the entrepreneur world. Maybe it has something to do with going back for your degree, or, you know, changing your career, whatever it is, or you're a multi-millionaire crushing life and having an epic business. It doesn't freaking matter, because what is the next level thing for you? What is your dream life is what it is. And you can compare yourself to everybody you want to, though you're doing better than those people, so you're fine. I'm doing worse than those people, so I'm not doing fine. Everybody can do that on every single level, whether you're just beginning or you're far, far, far ahead, right? It doesn't matter. There's always somebody far, far more ahead of you or somebody way behind you. There always is. So what is the point in doing that? It tells you nothing. The standard is, what do you feel called to do? Do you feel like you're living to your potential? Do you feel like you're creating and designing a clear dream life? You know what your dream life is. I'm clearly designing it and I'm showing every day and I'm backing that up, right? And do you feel in integrity with yourself? Like, are you enjoying the process? Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you lit up every day? Are you enjoying this process? And if you're not, okay, great, no big deal. Let's just get back on track. Like, let's just remember the whole entire point was to be fucking happy. Like, that was the whole point. And let's get our ass back on track of being happy, right? For sure, this is a journey of courage, right? So, okay, so this is the thing I was telling you that it took me a long time to figure out. Specifically, I want to make sure I say this clearly. Specifically, it is about brave action, like courageous action, where I put myself in a position where I have no choice but to show up. I do it all the time, right? But however, as we're doing that, the standard is our body. Your body will tell you if you've gone too far or not gone too far. So as we're going through this process, what happens is, if you've gone too far, it's traumatic on the body, right? There's a big difference between I'm in a growth spurt, which feels like growing. I'm a little bit anxious. I'm like, oh my God, what if this doesn't work? And we practice going from, because if you're focused on what if this doesn't work? Oh my God, what if I invest in this, right? Like, say you join the Diamond Mastermind. Let's say you pay for the whole year. What if I invest in this and I do this and then I don't make my money back? Then I'm going to be further in debt. No, you're basically just where you started. And having a little bit of debt is not the worst thing on the planet. You know what the worst thing on the planet is? Never fucking going for your dreams. That's the worst thing on the planet. And you know that. But instead of focusing on that and telling yourself the truth, this is what we do. We're like, whoa, but what if, but what if, but what if? That's what makes it hard. Do you understand that going for a multi-million-dollar dream life business, entrepreneur, whatever your thing specifically is, you being the product, you actually engaging in your dream life, being able to travel the world, not trading your time for money, letting your true voice come out, being your true self, like this kind of life, that's not hard. That's not the thing that makes it hard. It's challenging, it's exciting, it's definitely discombobulating every once in a while. It's a whole lot of epic things that are all signs of life, right? But it's not hard. What's hard is not going for it, or going for it and then letting and allowing yourself to live in a space of what if and fear and temper tantrums, and allowing other people's stories to be stuck on you, other people's expectations to be what the thing is, instead of you just getting really clear what your dream life is, what are your priorities, what are you know, what actually lights you up and makes you happy, what makes you feel like you're in integrity with yourself, what makes you feel like you're living your true values. Are you even clear what your values are? Have you outgrown old values? Are you upgrading those values? That is the work that makes it hard. So I am constantly saying to my private clients, the work is the work. Like, you don't get to be entitled. You don't get to be like, well, you know, I'm not going to do this work. Like I shouldn't have to do that. I should be further along than now. If you actually thought about what you're saying in that moment, now that we're talking about it specifically this way, can you hear what that sounds like? Well, I should be further along than now. Says who? Maybe you should trade with someone else who's done the work and they should go back where you are, and you get to go up there where somebody already did the work. Like, the work is the work. If there wasn't work to do, everybody would already have the results. You would already have all the results right now. But there's work to do. And the work is different than what people think. People think the work is like figuring this out and figuring out a strategy and a system. And those things are nice. And it's, you know, it is nice. And you do have to learn technology and all these kind of things. But that's not it. It's not it. And I'll say this till the day that I die, because what you need to understand is it is about the habits that you have in your mentality, the beliefs that other people have put on you, the stories that you take on, the expectations you take on, all of those kind of things. And the lack of the ability to drown out the noise and listen to your intuition and your heart. Live by your own values. Live by what is honestly true for you. speaking up and letting the message truly come out without editing it because you're afraid you're going to piss someone off, or you're afraid that someone's going to, leave and you're going to feel rejected, and that they're going to leave sometimes. It's okay. Let them leave. Do you want friends to be your friends that you can't be yourself around? Just apply that to people in your tribe and in your community. You don't want people in your community that can't handle hearing what you have to say. If they can't handle it, let them go away. They'll circle back, and usually they'll circle back and they'll be your high-end clients. That's what I did with every single person I've hired, except for the first person. All the other high-end mentors I've had, they triggered me, I went away, and then it was like something stayed with me and kept calling to me, and then I circled back. I mean, that is what it is. It's kind of funny. Like, you gotta let that process happen, right? So this is about courage, and it's about you getting clear that it's a process of knowing what you actually want, knowing what you feel called to, and giving yourself permission to go through that journey and process. So super specifically, to do this journey, you're looking at really being brave, going for epic things. I mean, life is rigged for the bold. Success is surely rigged for the bold, right? It is about bold moves. It's power, bold moves. When you feel called to something, you say hell yes, and you don't let that chatter like, well, what if, and maybe this is reckless, and da-da-da. I'm telling you, I mean, some people can handle this, some people can't. I don't know what to tell you. The truth is what it is. Like, everybody I've ever seen have success, they leap way before they feel ready. They're investing way before financially other people would say that that's a smart thing to do. It is what it is. But in that journey and process, you're learning to trust your body, and you're learning to allow the things to get flushed up and truly sift into them and work through them, and trust that you're going to be okay as you're working through them, right? Versus, I don't have time to work through that because I need to frantically do all this stuff, or else the sky's going to fall. I'm not going to make the money. I'm not going to be successful, yada, yada, yada. And one of the biggest skills that I now missing with, because I'm coaching hundreds of high-level coaches, and at this point thousands of coaches, right? And the one piece I really see missing is an understanding that is the skill we're going for here. And let me ask you this: how are you going to build that skill if you never put yourself in a position where you're required to show up more and that tension is on you? If you're consistently stepping away from something that makes you feel the tension, where you're required to show up bigger, how are you ever going to learn the skill to trust the process? How are you ever going to know, like you know in your soul and in your bones, that I'm going to be okay when I do this? That I'm going to give myself permission to work through and heal whatever's meant to heal and whatever's meant to be worked through, and I'm going to give myself permission to do that. And as I'm doing that, I'm trusting that I'm okay. And then I watch myself be okay. And I watch myself 10x. And then I watch myself have my biggest month ever. And I watch myself have all this massive success. And people are kind of flocking to me because there's an energy. There's something about me that makes them feel like they have oxygen. They're not breathing that carbon dioxide. It's like home. It's like I've arrived home. There's something good here. And people are drawn to that because people want to be around happy people who are in a state of overflow and who have something to give. Because if you think when you're showing up with your audience and you're desperate because you need something from them that they can't sense, that they can. People can sense when you need something from them. But when you're truly showing up in a state of giving, which requires you to have trust and have faith, right? Otherwise you're in a state of survival and you're checking to make sure you're okay and everything's going to be okay. And how do I know everything's going to be okay? And that's the energy that you live in. That is your emotional home base. And that is the work. How are you going to shift that and get into, this is like, I just need the whole world to understand this. How can you learn that skill if you don't put yourself in a situation where you have the pressure on? You're required to show up as something more. How? What other scenario could you possibly do that? And it's something that I was triggered about for a little while. There's a friend of mine who did a post and it almost got like a little pissy, which I felt bad about. Like her reaction to what I said was like really strong, and I wasn't expecting that. But then I realized, well, of course, because this is a sticky subject to a lot of people. Like, people think it's reckless for other coaches to tell clients to leap before they're ready, to put shit on a credit card, to put the pressure on themselves. And like, that's not healthy and they should take a more eased pace. But nobody can answer that question for me. How are you going to learn the skill of being able to handle the pressure and feel good and feel safe and have all that stuff flushed up and give yourself time to work through that while the pressure's on you, and realize that I had time to work through this stuff, to like really sit and be present with myself, to trust my body when it was too much. I got to just adjust. I got to learn this was too far. Okay, one step back. Oh, that wasn't even anywhere near close to the line. Like, I definitely was holding back and playing small. And you're learning all of these skills. How else are you going to learn those skills? That doesn't even make any sense. There's no other way. The rest is just complacency, taking your foot off the gas pedal and doing kind of things based out of like your own discipline that you have in the moment. And I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to live a life based off only what I have the discipline to create. No, thank you. That is not like, those are far from the results that I'm looking to create. I can muster up this much discipline, so therefore I can do that. That is what most people are living like. And if you're not willing to be brave and to put yourself in a situation where you're required to show up more, that is what you're doing. You're just living out of your discipline levels, because how are you growing? How are you expanding? How are you learning where that line is? Do you hear what I'm saying? So yeah, it is the only way. It is the only way. You want to create a multi-7-figure entrepreneur business, you're going to have to leap well before you're fucking ready. And that is what it is. It is what it is. And you're going to feel the pressure. You're going to feel the tension. You're going to learn how to manage it. You're going to learn what is too far and what's not too far. You're going to learn how to step back. You're going to learn how to give yourself permission to change your mind, to renegotiate things. You're going to learn how to take better care of yourself. You're going to learn how to tune into the stuff coming up, because what happens is when you're in a situation where you have to show up and make it happen, you can only be messy for so long before you're like, okay, I need to fucking snap out of this now. I can't just stay messy this way. And then you learn to do the real work, because the real work is the only thing that stops you from being messy. You can't fake that shit. You can't fake it. And that's not scary, that's epic. I want to always be in a situation where I can't fake healing, where I can't fake growing, where I can't fake expanding into the woman that it took for me to create the results in the epic life that I want. I don't want to be able to fake that shit. I don't want to be able to spin bullshit to people. I don't want to be able to pretend that I'm doing a good job and pretend that look at me, I'm doing all these things and I'm doing such a great job and I'm so disciplined and regimented, and I don't want to be able to pretend that shit. I want to be that shit. You hear what I'm saying? So it is a call for a unique group of people, and I understand that. And I do understand that people have different opinions about this. But I have not heard or experienced or seen another human being do this any other way than being able to, then putting themselves in a position where they're required to show up and learning the skill of handling the tension and pressure and still be happy and still enjoy life, and learn to trust the process, learn to trust whatever gets flushed up and truly work through those things, and have people around you that have already gone through this and already done this that can help you sort of, manage these things in a faster pace. Like that is the process. That's what I watch. And I think on some level I've been holding that back a little bit. Like I've been not saying it bluntly because I was afraid that people would judge me like I was just being salesy. And not even my clients or my audience, but probably my peers, like the peers that are talking about, there's quite a few people who are really getting loud about people talking about money and people talking about like go hard, hustle, etc. And I really understand that, because it's valid that we get to enjoy the process and the pace, but there's a big difference between enjoying complacency and enjoying epic fucking results. And we have to be honest about that. Like, you can be enjoying your life, but being super fucking complacent and not getting the results you want. That's available for you. And if you don't want more results, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong. That's totally good. It's all good. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody says you have to create some kind of epic results. But if you feel called to change the world, if you feel called to heal people, if you feel a longing and a deep wanting, right? A deep longing and desire to travel the world and have freedom and have financial freedom and have luxurious things and support and a different lifestyle, then that means you're being called to it. And when you're being called to that, that's going to require something different from you. Right? And so the skill that needs to be learned is you learning to step into that and take that brave, chuck yourself off the motherfucking cliff and learn how to fly. And once you're flying, right, you're going to forget for a second and be like, oh shit, I forgot how to fly. What am I doing? Ah. And you'll go back and forth. We call it the bipolar journey. It's kind of funny, right? It is you weave in and out of it. But what happens over time is you learn how to handle that pressure and tension better and better and better. And you learn when you went too far and where to step back and how to step back. What do you even do if you went too far? How do you clean this up? You learn all it. You become a savvy entrepreneur. You become a savvy business person. If that's what you want, then this is what's required. This is the real work. This is what it looks like. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that for anybody. I'm just not. It is what it is. That's the end of the story. And I've never been able to hear anyone else show me how it could be any different. And the one thing I do see is the people who are kind of rebutting this version of it, where you're admitting the real work that needs to be done and we're just telling the fucking truth about it. They're struggling with money. They're easing off the gas pedal. They're backing up. They're kind of going into that space, and they're giving their clients permission to kind of stay in that place of complacency. And there's a lot of mischief going on behind that. And That's what I see, and that's what it is. So you can do what you want with the information. This is just information. It's not a should, it's not a shaming, it's not even a call to action, unless you're feeling it as a call to action, then it totally motherfucking is, right? But it's just information for you to have, like, okay, that's a good measure for me. Like, now I can kind of gauge what that would take, like I see. So in order for me to build a, even, I would say even multi-six-figure business, honestly, even to get to multi-six, it's going to be required for you to leap before you're ready, for you to invest in things and pull in support in people and be in the arenas, in the room with people doing the motherfucking thing before you're ready. It's going to require you to learn how to handle that level of pressure and tension and stop pretending that, like, I'm doing everything and it's still not working. That's what a lot of people like to do, because that it makes you feel good about yourself, like it's out of my control. It's bullshit. The thing that's creating the non-results is the energy that you're showing up with, right? It's these bad habits, it's these beliefs, it's these stories that need to get flushed up and worked out. And so instead of giving our attention away to something else, you learn to stop pretending and you learn to do the actual fucking work that will cause growth and expansion and for you to become the person it took in order to create this life. That is the work. That's what it looks like, right? That is it. That is what came to me in Bali. That is what I wanted to share today. I'm getting ready to go head out to meet the girls over in Bali. I have a program coming out it'll be out today, Bali time, tomorrow for you guys. And it's called Happy and Wealthy. And really it is the concept of, like, let's build and design our dream life being happy, but not lying to ourselves about what it takes to get the actual results. Like, we're not doing complacent and happy. We're not doing, I got massive results and I'm miserable and overwhelmed. We're doing, I get massive results and I'm happy. So if you would like information on that, if you want to know, if you want first dibs on that, go ahead and what should I have you guys drop in the comments? Yes, the bathtub. I know, except for the water comes out with a little tiny trickle. Sarah, I wish you were here. Boo. In the comments, just put happy and wealthy. Just put happy and wealthy in the comments if you guys want to know when that's ready for you. It's 30 days with me. Every day for 30 days. I'm going to drill this and rewire your neural pathways and rewire those stories, and I'm going to help you guys to flush up all the kind of stuff so that you get a taste of, like, this is what it really feels like to get the results, to get epic results, but also to enjoy the process and to be happy enjoying the process. I'm really, really excited about this. And all the programs I've ever done, I've done like 5, 10-day, 15-day programs. The energy in the room when I'm showing up daily like that, it just gets so, it's just fucking awesome energy. And I kind of miss that. The weekly ones are great and they're powerful and it gives people a lot of time to do the work and dive in, and this gets really powerful results. But the energy, and this one's gonna be 30 days. I've never done 30 days. It's every day for 30 days and it's gonna be so awesome. And think about it. We're doing 30 days of, like, how do I really go for it? How do I be brave? How do I do those brave moves? And then what is an integrity for me? I'm covering all of it, you guys. Listen to me. What are your priorities? What are your values? How do you know what your dream life is? Half the people don't even know, like, I don't really know what my dream life is. And I know what that feels like, because every time I've up-leveled, every time I've gone to the next level, it's like a new it's like, well, I have to do this all over again. And then it gets to the point where, I don't even know if you guys need to know this, but it's true. It gets to the point where, like, life is so good, but yet you know that there's more for you, and you don't even know, like, well, what are my options even? And you, like, start asking around about, like, what are my even options? Because I've grown into everything that I even know is available for me, right? So we're gonna cover what is your dream life? What are your values? Because look, if you're showing up every day and you're not living in your values, and you're doing, like, if something snuck in, somebody else's expectation, if something snuck in like that, then what happens is you will start building tension, and you'll keep showing up and using your, discipline, and you'll be so proud of yourself. And then it's like the tension just keeps building until you just, like, snap. And that's when you get messy, and that's when you have the messy behaviors, or that's when you crawl in bed for 10 days, or that's when you start binge eating, or that's when you start numbing out to Netflix and watch 4 series of something. That's when, like, all these behaviors come up, because what's in alignment and integrity for you, somehow you got off track and the tension just kept building, or an old story or a pattern or something that you're believing that's not giving you permission to do what you feel called to do is stuck, and it's like pulling you back, and so the tension just keeps growing until you finally snap, right? So we're gonna work through this shit. This is the whole point. You're gonna get clear what your dream life is. What are your values? So you're clear what your values are. How can you show up and have everything you want in life and still be in integrity with yourself and feel like you're serving the world. This was the number one thing for me. I want to serve. I want to be someone who heals the world. I want to give back in the world, right? And so it was, for me, it was, how do I do that with still giving myself everything that I want, still being a woman who's incredibly wealthy and has the amazing things in life. And sorry, they're ringing the doorbell. It's distracting me. Not right now, thank you. So how can I do those things in life where I get to have the things I want, but I'm still feeling in integrity? I'm feeling like a good person. I'm feeling like I'm serving the world. So how can you serve the world in integrity, be happy, and still be wealthy and have all the things that you want? Still actually truly have your dream life. No, thank you. And still have your actual dream life, right? Like, this is a big problem for heart-centered people. It is a really big problem. And so I literally just spent like the whole entire morning digging into this and breaking it down. What are the stories that most people are stuck at? What are the patterns? How, like, what is the money stuff? How the money stuff is such a big thing for everybody, holding everybody back. It's a big deal, guys. The money stuff is like, it's a lot of mischief showing up in that one small little nugget right there. And we can just, that's so easy. It's so easy to work through that one. I know it can cause so much mischief. Just because something causes a lot of mischief doesn't mean it's hard to change, by the way. If there's a pattern or a behavior, it does not mean it's hard to fix, right? Like, one sentence, and I know you guys have experienced this at one point in your life, one sentence can change everything, right? So like, why I have mentors, because I'll hear an hour's worth of something, but one sentence that I heard rewired something for me, changed something, shifted something, aligned something, and I'm done. I'm on to the next level, right? So just because it feels big and messy doesn't mean that it's actually hard for you to shift, or that it's like some big thing that's going to require tons of time and it's going to require all these things. Some things require us to stay with it in repetition, because you're rewiring it. Other things, you hear one sentence and it's gone, it's shifted. And so we got to be open to that, open to things shifting and healing for us really quickly and really easily. So whatever, those are the details I'll give you right now. There's a lot more details to it. I'm just super excited to be in the energy with you guys for 30 days. It's why I'm doing it. Like, every single day for 30 days, I'm dropping content. I'm checking in with you guys. I'm raising the vibe and the energy, and I'm reminding you what's available for you. And I'm calling your ass to do brave shit while you're being happy, while you're living in integrity, while you're living values, while you're serving your fucking audience. You're getting off of trauma, off of self-focus, onto service. And while you're doing that, you just give yourself permission to thrive, and you're rewiring the stuff that told you that you weren't allowed to do that. That is the whole purpose of all this. So it is coming. It was funny, it was a little bit messy getting to that place, but it is coming and I'm really excited for it. It's gonna be epic. Oh, thanks, Carolyn. Okay, now I gotta go because I'm going to meet the girls. I love you guys so much, and I know that talking about the fact that we're gonna die someday and opportunities do pass, and you're gonna need to be a lot more brave than you've been being, and you're gonna have to be honest with yourself about what it takes for you to be happy and let the fuck up and just tell the fucking truth. Like, what do you want to be happy? What do you feel like you need? What makes you actually happy? And like, talking about these things can be really like jarring for some people because they're like, oh, those are like big things. But come on, let's talk about it. You know how it works. You know how it works, right? When it's in your head and when it's on the inside and it's not being talked about and we're not saying it and we're not just dealing with it, then it just builds and it turns into this big thing. But it's not. Because the second you shift into integrity with yourself and you start taking those brave actions and taking those brave leaps, you're instantly going to feel the relief of having done that. You're not going to be worried everything's going to fall apart because you're acting like an asshole and you know it. Because you're, lying to yourself, because you're not even clear what you want, because you're trying to make everybody else happy and not actually living out of integrity with yourself, or you're not even clear how would I have this wealthy, incredible, dream life and still be a person of service. When I wrote the sales page to send to my team, I wrote this line that made me laugh out loud. I was literally laughing out loud having breakfast over here. And it was like, you think you either have to be Mother Teresa or Kim Kardashian. Like, there's no in between. I'm either Mother Teresa, and that makes me go to oh my God, I can't turn into a Kim Kardashian who's just completely self-absorbed and it's all about looks and it's all whatever. Like, I feel like that's where most people think that's what it's like. And like, if I thrive, if I'm happy, if I give myself what I want, if I really go for my dream life, if I focus on giving myself permission to have all the things I want in any way, then I'm just gonna like morph into Kim Kardashian. Or I'm a bad person if I'm not Mother Teresa. Like that's the only version of a good person. Like Mother Teresa was called to what she was called to, and Kim Kardashian is called to what she's called to, and you're called what you're motherfucking called to. All I'm asking you to do is tell the truth about what you feel called to and stop lying to yourself. Stop ignoring it. Stop racing past it in a chaotic fashion, in a chaotic manner, trying to accomplish some dumb shit that you don't even care about, and tune in and start actually putting your energy and your time into something that's going to help you become the person that creates the kind of life that you want to, in complete integrity with yourself and in your values and in service to the world and changing and healing the motherfucking world while you get to thrive. This is what I'm calling you to. This is what I'm asking you to look at. Make sense? So it's not so scary when we look at it that way, like, oh, it's more scary to just like to be clueless about what the real work is. It's more scary to lie to ourselves and be stuck in some kind of like loop of behavior that we can't get ourselves out of. And it's more scary to tell ourselves like, I'm doing everything and I still don't have the result. Nope. You haven't done this work right here, right? It's just not true. Hey, Val. Okay, guys. I love you. So in the comments below, if you're new to me, say hello. Let me know this is your first time that you are seeing me, or that if you have not connected with me, say hi so I can come stalk your shit and say hi to you back. If you're a part of my tribe, just send love. Feel free to share this video if you feel like you got value from it so other people can get value too. And if you're interested and happy and wealthy, just drop a comment below, and as soon as my team has that ready for you, I will post it in the comments and you will be the first to know so you can get the opportunity to join right away. Okay, guys, and you know how it is. I always give the first people something cool. So I'm sure there'll be some kind of sneaky coolness for you if you're one of the first people to join. Okay, I love you. Have a fantastic night or morning or day, wherever you're at in the world. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you.